Oh boy, I'm so excited.
As always, rockin' tunes provided by the Coin Show House Band. And Matt, welcome everybody to the Coin Show Hangout. This one is a very highly anticipated episode because we have a special guest that we have, you know, uh, we've been dying to get her on.
Yep.
She is going to be a really interesting guest, and let's just get to it. Let's bring her in.
Oh, all right, go for it. Here we go. There's that.
So,
She's coming.
Welcome. Let's give a very warm Coin Show welcome to the model for the Sacagawea dollar and the American dollar, Ms. Randy Teton.
Hello.
Hi. This is actually really exciting for us, and I think the whole story about how this came about is just so funny, Mike. Like Mike made a video when we were in Baltimore about some of the presentation coins, and I was sitting there just kind of scrolling through the comments, and I said, "Mike, look at this! Look who commented on this video on our video about the coin." And he was like, "No, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was talking about it. So from there, it led to us, shooting a message and saying, "Hey, you want to come hang out and talk to the awesome people that love coins?" And here we are. So we're so glad to have you.
So welcome to the Coin Show podcast, to our Coin Show Hangout, which is a reasonable facsimile, but hopefully a lot more fun.
Oh, yes. Well, gentlemen, I am so happy to be here. I have to say that when I seen the video of the VIP coins, I was two actually expressions is I was shocked because wow, after all this time, we're finally talking about those special coins from that event. And two, I made those coins and I never thought that they would be I guess being brought out now. Finally
Right.
is what I have to say is finally after all these years. And it's been what, over 25 years?
Yeah. I was just saying that 2000 or 1999
was when it came out.
1999.
Well,
Yeah, so the
2000
design
is when
came
they
out. So give us a timeline. It's like, so when were you actually named the model for the, or when did you and Glenna do the
Yeah.
stuff?
Okay. So when was I approached by Glenna Goodacre? The beautiful Glenna Goodacre. And I have to, first of all, actually, I want to say happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful ladies joining us. You guys deserve this day. We all do. So I just want to acknowledge that real quick.
Celebrate mom.
Celebrate mothers. I'm a mother of 3. I get it. I understand. Okay, let's go back down the lovely timeline here. We're going way back. This is when I was very young. I was in college at the University of New Mexico in Albuquerque. And I actually attended previously to UNM. I attended and graduated from the Institute of American Indian Arts Museum College in Santa Fe. So the acronym is IAIA, fun to say. But I had a lot of people that I knew there, and a lot of people don't know this, but I actually went to college with my mother. We attended college, had the same friends. She's in the museum field. That's the degree I was going for, was museum studies. For some of you that may have or watch Antique Roadshow, I actually wanted to be the Native American moderator to talk about our Native American history. I wanted to be on the Antiques Roadshow. Maybe that might happen one day.
Let's not close that door yet.
But that was my goal. And so while I was there, I ended up, after graduating from IAIA, I ended up furthering my education, went to Fort Lewis College in Durango, Colorado, lived in Durango for a year. I wasn't too fond of the campus, and so I ended up transferring to University of New Mexico. Now, while I was there, my mother stayed in Santa Fe. Glenna was commissioned by the United States Mint to come up with an image for this new dollar coin. And the new dollar coin would replace the Susan B. Anthony coin. Okay. A lot of people really disliked the Susan B. Anthony coin. A lot of people thought it was a quarter. They didn't like the odd shape that it was. They didn't like the image. I heard a lot of things about the coin throughout my representation with the U.S. Mint. And so while I was at UNM, I get a call from my mother, and she says, I was approached by an artist by the name of Glenna Jacob. I don't know who this is. And she says that she is working on a new project with the US Mint where she had to come up with the design of Sacagawea. Now, here's something very interesting that a lot of people may or may not know. There are no actual images of Sacagawea. Okay. All we know are a few things. One, she's Shoshone. I'm Shoshone. She's from Idaho. I'm from Idaho. She was born in Salmon, Idaho, to be exact. I was born in Blackfoot, Idaho, which is about 2.5-hour difference. We're the same people. We're not the same band. Okay. When you get into Shoshone history, you'll find that the Shoshones as a larger nation were broken up by bands based on what we ate. So she was from the specific band of the salmon eaters. That was her people. I come from the Grand Teton area, the Wyoming, Idaho area. So a little bit of some geographical differences, but still, we're still the same people. We're still Shoshone. But when she was chosen, it's interesting. Lewis and Clark sketched everything from flora to fauna to the landscapes to the people, the tribal people that they met, but no sketches of Sacagawea, which I find shocking, right? All we know is that she was short. I'm short. It's not by choice. But she was short, she was Shoshone. And so this is the information that Glenna had. And so she felt like she needed to have a muse. So she went to the local Santa Fe Indian Art Museum. My mother actually was working there. And she approached the gift shop and said, I'm in the need of talking to a Shoshone person. I need to talk to someone from that is Shoshone tribe. They said, "Oh, I think there's a lady that works here. She's Shoshone. So we'll have you talk to her." And that was my mother. So she goes and talks to my mother. And if anybody knows my mother likes to talk a lot. And it's just that she's filled with a lot of information, history. She's a former museum director.
Yeah.
And they talked for hours, according to my mother. And the last question Glenna had was, do you have any daughters? Because I would love, you're beautiful, but you're a little old. And I really need to capture the essence of a Shoshone girl that was about the same age as Sacagawea. And so my mother had her wallet and she took out the pictures and presented them. And then automatically Glenna said, I want her. And she pointed at my picture. I was actually in the 7th grade. I was in junior high, long hair. I have the dark skin. She just was like, I want her. And she said, out of all my daughters, she's the only one that's nearby. She's not in Idaho. She's here in New Mexico going to school at University of New Mexico. So my mother calls me up. She says, we need you to model. And I'm just like, my modeling days are done, Mom. You don't have control of me. Because when I was younger, my mother would pull me into special projects that the museum would have. Okay. So I was in a couple of commercials when I was younger. And so she said, well, this lady, she's working on a project with the United States Men, and it's about Sacagawea. And I just thought, you know what? This sounds interesting. And so I said yes. And she said, okay, well, she's going to rent you a car. And I think that's really what sealed the deal, is that she was going to rent me a car, because I was in college. I was living on campus. I was a college student. So she rented me the car. I went to Santa Fe. Long story short, we talked for hours about Sacagawea. We shared our Shoshone perspective. We shared the knowledge of how we felt as Shoshone people about this amazing young woman, Sacagawea. Okay. There's not a lot of books that were written about Sacagawea in the 90s. Okay. So Glenna really was soaking up all this information. And one thing that we stressed to her was, I am not going to show up to model for you in a t-shirt and jeans. We need to make this culturally authentic. And what that means is that we are going to have to reenact basically what Sacagawea would have worn. And that would be a deerskin dress, not fully beaded, because again, she was stolen. She was misplaced. She was with another tribe. It wasn't her people. So therefore, the beadwork is not going to be a Shoshone beadwork. It could be, but again, she was enslaved. She was given to this man as a wife. And so Glenna knew a lot of people in Santa Fe. She called a local gallery. And the next day that I showed up, she told me, well, I found a dress for us. And I was scratching my head thinking, where did you get a dress within 24 hours? She said, I have a really good friend at a local gallery. I won't say what gallery. And she said, they're delivering it in an hour. I was so nervous because I wasn't sure if I was going to fit this authentic 1800s circa year, right? Dress.
Wow.
I was in college, you know, you have that college weight, right? I just was nervous, you know, and being of a museum, having a museum degree, one, you never put on a
No,
piece, an item
artifacts.
from the museum exhibit. Okay. So they knock on the door. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I better fit this dress. And they deliver it in a black trash bag.
Oh,
And I
nice.
was appalled. I was like, a black trash bag. Oh my goodness. So they go, they deliver it. Glenna comes over. She hands it to me. I felt just shaky. I'm like, oh, I better fit this dress. Go into the bathroom. I undo it, and it's beautiful. And I put it on, and it fit perfectly. And
Wow.
I'm 5'1". I'm short. And it fit me like it was made for me. And right there, I felt, this feels right. I feel like this is going to be a good day. I'm going to kick some butt, and I'm going to model the best I can, whatever that definition of modeling is, right?
Sure.
And we did it. We did it all in one day. We took pictures. It was very interesting because I kind of got a little teary-eyed, because I'm like, I studied Sacagawea when I was in 4th grade. You know, I grew up kind of knowing about her, but not really. And so it was interesting how I just felt like that moment was a moment that I will never forget. And I did not think that we would actually get to where we're at today, where this beautiful coin and having my likeness. Now, everybody, this is my likeness. This is not Randy Teton. This is Sacagawea. What we feel Sacagawea may have looked like based upon my characteristics. I can tell you the cheekbones, those are mine. The jawline, those are mine. The forehead is mine. But she had to change the eyes, she had to change the nose, and she had to change the lips. and she had to add a little bit of a fat crease on the neck, which I said, "Why did you add a fat crease?" And Glenna, she laughed. She goes, "Well, she just had a baby." I said, "But she was starving. They were all starving." I mean, honestly, women in that era, everybody was on a limited diet, you know?
Right.
It was so yeah. So that's the story of how I met Glenna and how history started. This was back in 1998.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Okay.
this is probably several years before the whole
It
coin
was.
became
Yes, you
about.
have the models that have to come out, and then they have to do all the, the the patterns and things like that. So it's at least a year and a half of lead
Yeah.
time.
It was, and I was told that she could not show me the photos from that modeling day. So I did not see anything for an entire year. And when I got a call from Philip Dill, the former US Mint director, he actually called. I missed his call. He left me a voicemail, and I wish I had that voicemail saved. This was the college dormitory's answering machine. It wasn't mine. And this was during the time where if you needed to use the computer, you had to go to the computer lab. We did not have the fancy iPhones and iPads. And so I remember coming back from class and my light was blinking on and off. And it was Philip Dill. And he said, "Congratulations, Randy L. You and Glenna were selected as a finalist. And those designs will be posted on the usmint.gov website." Keep in mind, I had no idea what I, along with everybody else in the world, were going to see. It was the first time I got to actually see and witness with my own eyes. I could not sleep all night. And he said they're going to be posted 6 a.m. Eastern time. That was 4 a.m. Mountain time. So all night I woke up, at different hours, and 3:45 I jump up, get ready, and I go to the computer pod room. Only one in there, and I log in, and all I see is the first picture pop up, and it's me. And it was like looking at a mirror, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh my God, this is not a Randy L. Teton coin. This is a Sacagawea coin." I was confused, but I was happy because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm on the web. I'm on the internet." So I go and print, and I had a stack of the printouts of all my faces, and I sent them to my grandma, and she was alive at that time, and she just couldn't believe it. She didn't understand what was going on. Like, why is there a new coin? And how did you get on? How did you get to do this? She didn't understand. I had to really explain to her. So
It just seems like
That
almost
is
like the
such a
perfect.
cool story.
It is. It's like the perfect storm. You just happened. Your mom happened to be in the right place at the right time, and then
yes.
it's amazing. It's really neat. And did you think back then when you saw the first design of the coin that 25 years later we would still be making coins with your likeness on one side?
No, no. I
Yeah.
honestly thought that this was gonna be 1 year, the year 2000. I recall that in Indian country, I was celebrated. I was on a lot of, magazines. I had a lot of interviews. I was asked to be in a movie about Sacagawea, and I just kind of felt like it was a real whirlwind of chaos, a lot of requests, and I felt that, you know, I I'm still going to college. I'm still in college, and it was very important to me personally to finish college because I'm the first in my family to this day to graduate with a 4-year degree.
Wow.
And so it was a big deal for me. And honestly, I think back in 1999, that's when I was going to a lot of functions with the United States Mint.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture
remember,
of you standing next to like Hillary Clinton and somebody
yeah,
else at one of the functions, and I'm
yeah,
like, wow,
that was in the fall.
Goodacre.
Yeah, that was in the fall of 99.
And I can
And
imagine it was just
I
a whirlwind
graduated.
of events and
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry.
yeah, I graduated in 2000.
So,
you know, why don't we could actually talk about what brought us together in the first place, which was these peculiar strikes that were, you said you made these, right? At the different
and I have a question
launches?
because as I talked to you the first time, you know, you had commented on our Facebook post that you struck them in Philadelphia. But James Segal
Yep.
was talking about ones that were struck in Denver. Did you strike these as well?
No, I did not. I did not know of the Denver event. I was very involved with the Philadelphia Mint.
Because that was the actual launch of the coin.
Yes, I did a lot of events. Honestly, I wish we had cell phones during that time. I wish that social media was as big as it is today, because I would have got a lot of really cool reels. I could have went live in a lot of situations that I was involved in. I'm very fortunate to have, met Hillary, had some time with her, and all the moments of just being with amazing people at the Mint. I got to go in the background of the Philadelphia Mint, and I got to hold my hand out and have all these Sacagawea coins nice and hot.
I was going to say, weren't they hot?
Yes, they were, but not too hot where it hurt. It hurt my hand. It was just amazing. It really was. I wish that my kids were able to see what I was able to see. Now, I don't have a relationship with the United States Mint. I really wish I could, because I'm still alive, and that's me. And if they need some help in pushing out or promoting, I mean, I'm here.
Well, we just have to get your name out there a little bit more, you know, so let them know that you're available. Speaking of which, so we only asked this once, and we're going to ask it, you know, now at the beginning of our thing. If you wouldn't mind, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You know, everybody that's here. Thank Randy L for showing up for us, because this is it was kind of a different time frame than what we had originally discussed. But to be very honest, she wanted to be with the listeners. She wanted to be here to answer your questions. And I think that's really cool. I do have a couple of questions.
Oh,
I do, ahead. But I have a couple of questions just from a more personal standpoint of, so you said it was kind of, you know, really surreal to see your image on a coin. When they changed it, did it make you start to think about, are you ready for, you know, them to change it and to not be on the coin anymore? And has it made you more of an advocate for using a dollar coin?
Yes, yes. This is interesting. I was asked to be part of a campaign to get rid of the dollar bill. And I said no. I love the dollar bill. I love the dollar coin. Why can't we have both? And so there's a reason, we have this beautiful dollar coin. Not only is it currency, but it's a way to honor our Native American people. And honestly, if it wasn't for the committee I believe it was the United States Coinage Committee, that had this long list of women to replace Susan B. Anthony, And I found out that Sacagawea's name was on the back side of the sheet of paper, long list of women, and she was on the bottom.
Oh.
I am very thankful that she won because it really did open the door for really giving more of her story of her involvement with the very important Lewis and Clark Corps of Expedition and her involvement of what she stood for during that time. I mean, I tell kids, think about having a 2-year camping trip. That's exactly what this was. Sacagawea was the mother, the sister, the wife to, making sure everybody was good. She helped them understand what plants, what trees, what things to do, the do's and the don'ts of the forest. She was a big part of, natural resource management. She understood the landscape. She knew the trails. She knew where to go.
Survival.
All the survival skills. She had it. And she was only 13 and a half, 14. So if you can imagine having a daughter that young, I can't imagine being that young and having so much responsibility. So she deserves to be on this coin. Her story, is so important to me to share that story for all people. She is an amazing young lady. And little Jean Baptiste, he was the baby that kept happiness. He was the spirit that really carried everybody for happiness because he was such a sweetheart. His story needs to be told. I think that needs to be researched more. I think there needs to be a book about Jean Baptiste. Mm-hmm. Now, I would like to tell everybody is that after the Lewis and Clark expedition, Sacagawea and her husband decided to allow Lewis and Clark to adopt little Jean Baptiste, and he moved to St. Louis, and then he ended up going to school in Europe, where he learned different languages, German, Spanish. He already knew French from his father. He knew Shoshone from his mother. He understood English. So he was very smart, book smart. And after school, he returned back to the United States to find his mother and his father. His father ended up returning back and going back to his other wife, who was Shoshone. Her name was Otter Woman. So Sacagawea left her husband and she ended up going and finding family, but found out that when she returned back to Salmon, Idaho, that her people were actually forced. They were removed from Salmon and forced to move to Fort Hall, the Fort Hall reservation where I'm from. And so all of us were placed on this reservation. And she ended up going to live with her nephew, who was her brother's son. His name is Basil. Basil ended up marrying a Eastern Shoshone from Wyoming, and that's why Sacagawea ended up in Wyoming, where she is buried. And there is a cemetery called the Sacagawea Cemetery, and I go there almost every year, and I pay my respects, and I leave her a coin. And if you ever go there, if any of you ever go there, it's such a beautiful cemetery. And yeah, I mean, and Basil is right by her. He's buried by her, and then his family. It's beautiful.
Wow.
That's amazing.
The stories that you have, this is amazing.
I can go on, and this is why I share our Shoshone perspective. Nobody knows this. Historians never thought to talk to us and get these stories. So I'm doing it. So,
well, you're doing the Lord's work. God bless for that. So,
thank you.
It's like you've been here and we have ignored the listeners for all this time. So, the questions and see what they have.
Sure, I got a couple ready to go here. Paula asked us, can you ask her if she's ever received any of the special strike coins, the VIP, the Good Acre, or the Cheerios coin?
Okay, repeat that.
So she asked if you have received any of the special strike coins, either the VIP coins or the Goodacre coins or the Cheerios coins.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Reaching for something.
I'm reaching for something. And my child moved my coins.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so yes, I do have the special strike coins. And my family has the special strike coins. My grandmother, this was her first time in an airplane. She was so scared that my brother had to be with her on the plane and hold her hand. She got special strike coins. My whole family got special strike coins. So we all have them.
That's great.
That's awesome.
And they even sent each family member a letter with their name saying, "Dear, John Smith, here are your special coins." So there's an official White House Philadelphia Mint letter with each of these.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do, and yes, I do have a Goodacre presentation coin signed by Glenna.
Of course.
Now, I do not have the Cheerios. I am looking for it. I would like to add that to my collection, but I do not have that one.
And it's funny, we were talking to, was it John Krelovich who mentioned that he had met you at one of the summer seminars of the ANA, and you attended the summer seminar
in a class of his.
Let's see. Yeah, I ended up doing an internship at the Money Museum in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I also attended a lot of ANA coin shows. So I'm not sure what year that was.
But that was just an interesting that's where he ran into you out of all the different places that you had appeared over this release, that it was at the summer seminar.
Yeah.
Let's see. Paula had another question. She asked you. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's like we're stuffing on each other tonight, buddy.
Well, I'm trying to get the listeners' questions in there, friend.
I
know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Well, I was going to say, Paula had another question. She asked, do the photos still exist from the photo shoot?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I would like to just let everybody know that I am seeking a publishing company to do a memoir that would include these special photos.
Sure.
It's a copy that was given to me by Glenna Goodacre. And when she gave them to me, she said, "I wasn't supposed to keep these photos, but I know how important it was for us because we shared so much information that day."
Sure.
And emotions. Okay. Because as I was mentioning, it was a historical time for me to be like, wow, I'm actually modeling for Sacagawea. So it was a special time. And she gave me copies of those photos. I have them. She did tell me that the U.S. Mint had strict guidelines that all of the material that was used on the coin project were the property of the United States Mint. Okay. Well, they have them. The U.S. Mint has everything that probably I have, which is really cool because nobody else does. Yeah. Glenna's gone. She isn't here with us no more. So everything that she gave to me with her signature, she even painted a little picture of me that she made for me for Christmas. What a wonderful, beautiful artist she was. I mean, she really was. I mean, I just thought she was.
And I was just going to ask if you kept in touch with Glenna, until she passed.
A little. There were some things that kind of put a wall between us because there were other things that she created after the Sacagawea dollar came out in 2000. She made statues. She made other things. I was unaware of that. But that's a whole nother show. So we can go to a next question.
Yes. Somebody wanted us to ask you, ask Randy what Teton means, please.
It's French, and it was a name given to my ancestors. And it's because we resided at Jenny's Lake in Jackson Hole, where present day Jackson Hole, Wyoming is. So on my father's side, we are from the Wyoming area, and we were there living and doing what we do. And then we were moved out. We were told, you guys need to join Chief Washakie and go to Fort Washakie, Wyoming, or go to Fort Hall, Idaho. And my ancestors ended up going to Idaho because there was also a railroad line being created at that time near the Fort Hall Reservation, where there was jobs. There were services being provided by the federal government versus what was going on in Wyoming. So it's really interesting history. I love history. That's one of the reasons why I went into museum studies, is because I grew up around this history, understanding it. But that's what happened to my family. So we are relocated by force. Okay. So when the federal agents were doing their census, so they were every year they would have a lineup of all the tribal people, families, basically the men folk, and they would say, "What's your name?" And you got to keep in mind, our people did not fully understand English. So they were like, "What's your name?" And they had a translator who was learning English, and he would speak in Shoshone and say, tell him your name. And our people did not have first and last names. We only had one name. So in Shoshone, my Indian name is Meadowlark, which is translated into Hedo. So that's my name in my community, is I'm known by Hedo, which is Meadowlark. So I didn't have a last name a long time ago. So when they asked my great-great-grandfather, what's your name? They put down Man Teton, because he said Teton, because that's where he came from, is the Grand Teton area. Wow. So that's how we got that name. Now, that's another book I would like to write, because we are the original Teton family from Jackson Hole. And even though we're not there living, that was our ancestral lands. That's where we come from, our hunting grounds. That's where we collected and you thrived. So
wow,
thank you for asking that
really
question.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, did you have one you wanted to ask, or are you good?
Well, I was going to share that one of my favorite Native American dollars is one of the ones that was issued, I want to say last year. No, it was last year for Maria Tallchief, who was a prima ballerina and is a Chicagoan. So that was a moment of pride for us here too in Chicago. That was,
Yeah.
Really the design. It's, how do you feel about the new the changing design every single year that's the series?
I think it's great, but I would like to be part of the selection committee, because I don't know if they have I'm trying to be sensitive to what I'm going to say.
I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, no, I mean, are there any natives?
If you're going to select Native Americans, do you have real, true reservation Native Americans on the committee making these selections, having these discussions? Honestly, that's why I'm saying is I wish I had a relationship with the United States Mint, because I am from the reservation. I grew up in the tribal museum. I understand our language. I understand the history. I understand why we're fighting for what we're fighting for, treaty rights today. You need to have someone that has grown up in that environment, but yet peaceful about it and positive. Right. And, so I question, how are they coming up with these selections?
Yeah, if you truly want to honor people, let's try not to be tone deaf about it. And correct. I think that the best example of it is the British Columbian silver dollar from Canada, which shows what happens when people that don't know what they're doing,
yeah,
putting native, icons onto coins.
Yes.
So it's really, really important. I like this one. Carrie says, hopefully not a stupid question. Are there any other living models for any U.S. coins?
Nope.
On US coins, no. On Canadian coins, yes, but not on United States coins. And if there is, then I would like to meet them.
No, you're the only one.
Although
No, you are it. As best
I
you know.
heard a couple years ago that the girl who did the Walking Liberty, her legs, the model for the legs, she was an elderly, and we were both supposed to be at a major coin collection or major coin collector conference, and she passed away.
Oh,
And I was so excited to meet her and be able to talk to her because she would understand. Now, she wasn't, I mean,
That was the last design of Liberty before, yes.
yeah. So I don't have anybody to say, hey, did you go to that coin show and did they get your face right? I don't have anyone to talk. I don't have no BFF to talk to. This is a lonely thing. But I do see a couple of comments here, and I just want to say that yes, I do collect coins. Yes, this experience with the United States Mint and just understanding coin history has sparked a lot of interest for my kids. I will tell you, I have literally a cedar trunk full of coins.
Oh my goodness.
We will go through it, me and my kids, maybe twice a year. I think we need to actually get into it and look at coins. But I like to kind of air them out. I like to talk to them about, hey, this coin was given to me by, or Glenna gave me this coin, and this is what this means. I have a waffle Sacagawea dollar coin, and they were like, Mom, what's the big deal about the waffle? I was like, ooh, the waffle is like awesome. And so, yes, I feel that my kids also carry that interest and that knowledge, and hopefully they're going to carry that on to their children.
Do they walk around with a pocket full of Sacagawea dollars and give their friends mom coins? Like,
nope.
My mom got a coin, and no, they don't do that because my kids do that.
I have to share this because my oldest son, his name is Kumia, which in our language means cloud. So Kumia, when he was in the first or second grade, I got invited to his class for Native American History Month, which is every November. And I remember I told the classroom that, you see this picture on the coin? I said, that's Kumia. And they were like, oh, Kumia, you didn't tell us you were famous. Oh, he was the most popular kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then when I had my second son, I kind of said the same thing in his classroom. And then he came home and my boys were like, Mom, you said that I was.
That's awesome. That is a great story.
So,
oh my gosh, that's funny. See, Sunhead asks, I think that the Buffalo nickel is the most beautiful Native American coin. Do you have a favorite Native American coin? Obviously, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already, but I figured I would just go ahead and relay the question.
No, I don't. I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I would say that, of course, the Sacagawea is my favorite. But I do love the Buffalo coin, and it's because the Buffalo represents substance for our people.
Life.
It also represents the ceremonial life that we have. I mean, we really honor the buffalo for everything that it does for us to protect us. And so I actually got to well, let's see, I don't know how to explain this, being sensitive to some of our listeners, but we will do a ceremonial buffalo hunt annually And my father was selected by our tribe. They do a selection of a youth and an elder and a veteran. And so my dad was given the one of the elders hunting tags, and he went and shot one. And I'm his oldest. Technically, it would be the son of the man that would actually do the first cut. Well, being that I'm my dad's oldest, he let me do the first cut of this fresh kill. And I remember the buffalo was on his back, and we prayed for it, because again, we offer that thank for his life. So it's not like we're just going in there and just cutting him up and disregarding that spirit. We take care of the spirit first and all that. So I got to cut, and I went through probably 6 knives. So I was cutting it, and it went just like this. And then I had to switch out knives and go down again. It was such a beautiful experience. And then we were all able to drink the blood of his heart, which is a sacred opportunity to connect with the buffalo. So when I look at the buffalo nickel, that's what I think about. I think about my experiences as a Native American woman and how we connect to the buffalo spirit. So,
wow. Yeah, that's amazing. This is fun. I'm having such a great time learning. I'm learning so much.
Yes.
Best guest ever.
Thank you. I'm having fun too.
Well, we're glad for that. It was really kind of a stretch. We don't normally have a lot of guests in the Hangouts. It's normally it just kind of hang out and ask questions and do that. But I mean, geez, this has been so much fun.
I have to share this, and I'm not sure if we can see this.
Yeah.
That is beaded.
Really?
Look at the details. All small beads.
Wow.
And I've been gifted over the years beautiful beadwork, beaded medallions. This one's made out of quill, out of porcupine.
Wow. Oops. Yeah, the camera doesn't like it.
Yeah. But
wow.
Yeah. So, and then I was actually, after the coin came out, I returned home in 2002, and I ran for Miss Shoshone Bannock. And let me see if it will like it there. Oh, yeah. And my aunt beaded that coin in my crown. This is all beaded.
That's awesome.
So
I've
had a lot of amazing experiences, and I honestly believe it's about being humble, and it's an honoring experience. Sometimes I have to pinch myself and remember, that's me on the coin. And there's just been a lot of amazing opportunities in my life since the coin. But I will have to say, I don't let it get to my head. I know a couple of people say, "Oh, she's just big-headed," and they don't really know me, because anybody
I haven't found that to be the case at all.
Yeah, anyone that knows me in my community, I'm very active in our culture. My family is very active. As I shared, my dad's a hunter. It runs in our family. I have my 2 sons. I want them to become future buffalo hunters, because again, that's just part of our way of life. Sacagawea being Agadika, which in our language means salmon eater. Very thankful for her history, and very thankful for her doing what she did. I mean, she was forced. And it was a survival. She was trying to keep her baby safe and make it home. That's all she was doing. But during that 2-year period, she had to teach these men how to live off the land and make small traps to catch the squirrels and the gophers, anything that they can eat, because it was really hard, because these men were all from St. Louis or from the city life. They did not know what they were getting themselves into. They just thought, "Oh, yay, this is like an opportunity of a lifetime." She was a white flag for them, because a lot of tribes all were honest when I was involved with the Lewis and Clark Trail event one year. There were a lot of historians, a lot of people from the different tribes that met the Lewis and Clark, and they all honestly said, we were about to kill those white men if it wasn't for Sacagawea. Their curiosity was piqued because they seen an Indian woman and a child, and they thought, okay, what's going on here? They were curious of why these hairy faces, that's what they called them, the hairy faces, they all had full beards. Yeah, hairy face.
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, I see it. It's like when they sign on for this, they're thinking camping jamboree, and what they're really signing on for is Naked and Afraid. I mean, it's survival out there, hardcore, with nothing out there to protect you. And Sacagawea really did figure into their actual survival. If not for her, they never would have made it.
Never. I don't think they would have made it past a year. The cold, the waterways. I mean, we don't have roaring rivers going from North Dakota all the way to the Pacific Ocean. We've got rivers and lakes, and I mean, it was very
in the way too.
There's tons. And during that time, it was trails. That's where you had to have horses. And so I'm very thankful for everything that she did. And I don't take full credit. I am simply here to represent her and be her voice. And if I could ever ask for one wish, it would to be able to meet her. I would love to meet her. I would love to talk to her and really understand what she went through and get to meet her baby. She had 2 children too. She had a baby girl after they returned, and the baby only got sick close to a year. Her name was Baby Lizette, and she died. And so we believe, and being a mother, I believe she got depressed. I believe that's the reason why she left her husband. She didn't have Jean-Baptiste. Jean-Baptiste was in St. Louis or in Europe at that time. Her husband was not the greatest husband. He was very cruel to her. This was all written down in the Lewis and Clark journals. There were times that Lewis and Clark both had to take her in to keep her safe because he was verbally abusing her, possibly physically abusing her. So, I mean, her story is one that needs to be told. We can't be secretive about it. We need to talk about it openly. This is a young teenage girl, and she did so much, and she contributed all of this to United States development. So,
and what a really great job you do telling that story and representing her. I think it's really admirable. It's very cool. We're really super proud to have had you on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very great. Well, is there anything you want to say before we let you go? Any words of wisdom? I want to
put a thought into your head, Randy. I want to put this thought into your head. Maybe you should think about applying to be on the Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee.
I have.
I think having somebody like you on that committee, you qualify for several of the positions on there.
Yeah. Well, but why can't they just create an honorary seat for me? I mean,
that's true.
I mean, honestly,
no reason why not.
I spent 2 years with the U.S. Mint.
Come to Muhammad, maybe you go to the mountain. But yes, it's like it has been fascinating having you on, and it's like honestly, an hour was not enough, and I mean, we would love to have you on here any time. And maybe we can like run into you at a show or something like that and pop up and do something where we get a chance to meet in person. But I mean, just absolutely, I swear to God, best guest ever. Thank you.
Thank you. This was fun.
Oh, well, we were glad you had a good time, and thank you again for passing us all of the knowledge and wisdom and amazing stories that you had to give us. So,
oh, I just wanted to say too, my son just handed this to me. Oh, goodness, I don't think you guys can see it.
oh no! Oh,
oh,
it's an axe.
Oh, no. Oh,
okay.
it's an axe. There you go.
Axe down and back away slowly. Oh, wow!
Oh,
very cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, stone axe.
Yep, he does it obsidian, and yeah, he flint naps.
That's cool.
That's beautiful.
He's carrying on our culture as well, and I didn't force him. He did it all on his own, and I think it's because of just the history that I have to share about our people, about the coins, about Sacagawea, and just how we survived, how Sacagawea survived. So thank you guys so much. I had fun.
You certainly gave him a lot to be proud of. And so you brought it around full circle to us because Sacagawea was a mom and you're a mom and talking about your son. So happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to everybody from the Coin Show podcast. And I don't know if you guys don't have anything else, then I think that we will let this very nice lady, we'll let her go.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much.
I know it ends, but it ends well. Let's all get together. We'll sing louder than we've ever. 'Cause this isn't forever, but forever ain't tonight. 'Cause we got tomorrow, no matter how hard you try. This isn't forever. While we're singing our song, we forget that it's ending. It's that it's purpose, it's the worthiest thing we do. 'Cause this is it. And forever, but forever ain't tonight. Tonight, we've got tomorrow. Just try. This isn't forever. This isn't the end. Until next time. Until next time. Until next time. This isn't the end.